What is going on, guys? Justin here with a Ram 1500 update. Yes, indeed, this is actually my first time doing a Ram truck update. So far, I am at 427,000 miles. The last time I drove this was earlier today. I've been going to work and back, work and back, work, back, home. So there's my odometer. Right there. Yep, 427,324. And so far I only drove about 301 miles after doing the whole trip. So far everything in here is clean, spick and span. And the last time I did a review of this video, you actually noticed that these stickers were on here. I done took them off. And it was not easy. The NAS Whiting Field, approximately at this area. I actually took it to myself and took them off. It wasn't easy. There were some that were pretty easy, and there were some that are not. I used this label and sticker remover from Turtle Wax. And you can use this on glass, metal, and automotive paint. And so far, everything is in running order. And here's a little cool announcement. Next year I am taking this truck to the Atlanta Motorama by Summit Racing Equipment. It will be brilliant to have this truck there as well. And of course I actually got the Ram 1500 text that is just pulling off. Well, coming off is just this part, not the whole logo itself. So I'll be looking forward to getting that fixed. There are some scratches, there are some blemishes that I'm going to have to buff out. And if you're wondering the mess in this bed, I took some firewood out of a neighbor's house and them here, so I'm probably going to be doing some cleaning before I take this truck to the Atlanta Motorama for next year. And also one more thing, this truck is going to Atlanta Motor Speedway next year, just to give y'all a heads up on that. So far everything runs as normal. I'm going to go ahead and show you some stuff that has been put in for fluids. Oh, speaking of which, got a new water pump. This is the old one. Yep, right here. So here's the old water pump. The reason why I got this new one is because this old one was probably leaking out antifreeze, and probably the gasket was just shot. So this is actually the old gasket, the old adhesive that was on there, and this is actually the water well as well. And it's like a never-ending turbine. What the water pump actually does is that this center part right here is connected to the fan, and what it does, it pumps water out of the radiator, the reservoir. Well, yeah, the reservoir radiator, and it gets pumped into the engine. So that basically builds up the heat, and you have a thermostat that takes the hot air and it goes in here and it goes into the radiator and it cools down. Actually barely see the inside. Yep, there. This is actually a connector. I tried to return this for a core charge, but I didn't get any out of it, so I may take this into a junkyard. I may not get a lot, but it's about the only choice I have. Actually, I almost forgot. I did an oil change on this because I don't not like the 15W40, so I went ahead and went for the Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Synthetic Blend. I picked this up at Walmart, and this was actually my first ever choice of doing it. And changing out the oil, it was not that easy. For all auto mechanics, do not over tighten your oil filter. It was very, very hard for me to get off. I actually punctured a hole, and I tried to turn it counterclockwise, and it just will not turn. And it was a pain trying to get it out. And it was a Firestone one. The one that I have in there is a Fram. I also got another Fram filter that I'm also going to use up once this actually reaches 5,000 miles. I may go about 5,000 or 6,000. It actually depends. This is actually the first ever synthetic blend oil for engines over 75,000 miles. So it's really time to step up the fight against engine breakdowns. Also have some empty antifreeze tanks in here. I may want to try to do a flush and put in some new coolant. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Probably hadn't studied the anti-freeze system or coolant system. So we're going to go underneath the hood to show you what has been changed, removed, stuff like that. Okay, the last time we look at this engine, ooh, golly, it's still hot. Yep, warm to the touch. Only twice my battery had died on me. I'm thinking about getting a new one soon, but I don't want to waste money on it. This green wire that was on this, was on here, a jumble, a green cable, it's no longer here now, because that's already been removed. Got a new power steering pump, which is down here. I still have this dipstick right here, but all it is a new pump and a new pulley. You can barely see that pulley. I also got a new water pump as well. As you can actually tell, I know it's pretty hard to see since it's dark. So, you gotta let people ask. Alright, once this actually gets focused. So what am I probably going to be doing next? Well, I may think about taking out this old air filter intake system and replace it out with a new one. I'm thinking about going from this intake system for a K&N Pro Series intake system. So I got a question. So I got a lot of people asking me what was this area for. And I did a lot of research, and I found out there was actually a extra coolant tank right here. Or something. Thought someone was coming up on me trying to scare the crap out of me. There was actually an engine coolant tank right here. That's basically built for a V10 engine, which is basically your Magnum V10 Magnum engines, basically for a 2500 or a 3500. I did a little return today. I had a new radiator cap with a safety release or a safety lever, but it was actually the wrong pressure. When I had that old radiator cap that I returned back, it was actually to the point where it was actually leaking out antifreezing water. So when I put this back on, it just immediately stopped. I'm not sure why it did that. I was thinking I probably had that one that I had on here after this was 16 pounds. This one's 13 pounds, so I actually had the wrong pressure. It just couldn't take it. Also, okay, I know it's pretty hard to see in there. It's actually my coolant in there as of right now. May think about doing a full engine coolant flush, which is basically taking some chemicals, like give this thing a full chemical flush. What's actually very hard is trying to find a pepcock or something to drain out the old coolant, because I already know how to put in the new coolant, which is basically there's a radiator. And yes, the engine is warm. I did take this off to show. There. And there's the hose that runs from the thermostat, which is somewhere right back here. You gotta remove the AC compressor, this entire hose, in order to get into the thermostat. This hose connects from there to the top of the radiator. The hose that connects from the radiator to the engine is right here. That just runs down. And it basically runs down underneath. I'm sorry if it's dark and it's very hard to see. I may do a full engine coolant change whenever time can tell. And also, never again will I let someone touch this thing without expertise. Let me give you a little tip. If you want to hire a personal mechanic, always ask them questions like how you change motor oil, how you change engine coolant, stuff like that. Easy fix. Because never again will I let somebody touch this truck. If you can get it focus. Or how to change the light bulb, stuff like that. So anyway, that's been my Ram 1500 update. So far, she still runs great, even with that synthetic blend motor oil inside her, which is actually basically keeping her alive. But anyway, my name's Dustin, and I will see you later whenever the next update happens. And it's a moon out tonight, and you have bats flying. Yep, that's Warner Robins for you. Bye for now.